So I'm calling this video Challenging the Impossible. It says I'm live now. Challenging the Impossible. I was looking over some of my writings, and there have been so many moments in my past where I felt like the things that I was attempting to do were impossible. And what I realized within it is they felt impossible because, well, okay, I'll say this. There were things that I had attempted to do that I couldn't make work. And when I attempted to do them, I felt really uncomfortable about them because partially because I couldn't make them work. Partially because like it's just something that I had tried maybe multiple times, maybe for a long time, maybe like just things that I was I wanted the result of, and I knew that okay, if I do this thing, then I can have that result, but I couldn't figure it out. And so then when somebody would challenge me on it, it would make me feel so uncomfortable because it was something that like I want to be doing that. I I want for myself to be doing that. I have the desire for that. I know that I'm supposed to be doing that, right? Um, but the reason why I'm not doing it isn't because I don't want to. It's because I I don't know how. I can't. It feels impossible, right? Um, and a really great example for me is getting into a relationship. You know, getting into a relationship that I actually enjoy, right? Or that's not just enjoy. Getting into a relationship that's actually going to be supportive for me. That's actually on the same path that I am. That has the same purpose. That is united in purpose. That was something that was impossible to me. That was something that I had tried, and I tried for many years, and it was just so difficult because within myself there's all these things that is just like, well, this happened to me and that, and you know, my past, and you know, my experiences, my family. There's just so many factors you don't understand, right? But so that was something that felt impossible to me, something that I had attempted, something that I really wanted the result of, but was not getting. And so whenever somebody would point it out, it would feel so challenging. And I realized this for myself. I realized that I was afraid to lead others because I was afraid of having to do that for others, right? Pointing out, hey, this is where you're weak. Hey, this is something you're not doing. You're not stepping up in. And because I know that feeling, I know how that feels. And I was afraid to make others feel that same discomfort because it feels like shit, right? If you've ever felt that, you know, where there's something you want and somebody else realizes you don't have that thing that you want, and they point it out to you, you're like, I know, I'm fucking working, I'm trying, it's not working, right? Well, I realized that I was holding back from leading others because I was afraid to put somebody else in that position or give somebody else that feeling. And within that, I was just like, well, you know, the reason why I'm afraid to do that to others is because I don't like it when it's done to me. But why am I holding myself back from doing that? And what I saw within that is just like, oh, it's because I'm like beating my head against this wall. I don't like doing that. I don't like feeling like I don't know what I'm doing. And what I actually want is just the result. So how do I do that thing that's impossible? Oh, and here's what else came up as I was doing that. I realized part of the reason why people will fight so hard for their limitations is because of this feeling, is because it's like, I've tried everything, this is just my limit. So it's not fair for you to call me out on that thing. And that's, part of the reason why um, fat shaming is like, you can't do it. It used to be something that like people would do, and I'm not advocating for fat shaming, right? But I'm saying it used to be something that was like pretty normal in society. Not that it was okay, but that people did. And then it became the complete opposite of that, where it's like if you say something that may make somebody feel like you're calling them fat or anything like that, like, hey, maybe you should go to the gym, like that's considered fat shaming, right? Even though it would be potentially productive for that person. But the reason why is because probably that person's tried to go to the gym before, right? But maybe they weren't consistent, or maybe like they didn't have the right diet, or there's so many different factors within that um, that would like they tried it and they couldn't figure out how to make it work. Much in the same way, I tried to get into relationships, but I just couldn't figure out how to make it work, right? And so for you to keep bringing it up is like, fuck, what? Like you're an asshole in that person's eyes. In my eyes, if you were to keep bringing that stuff up, like, man, this guy's a real asshole. Like, give me a break, right? But the only reason is because you don't know how to change it. And so if you can actually change it, if you can step up, then you don't have to impose on others to limit society in a way, because that's what we're doing right now, is we're limiting society in saying, hey, you're not allowed to say that about somebody. You can't bring that up. There are certain taboos. You cannot bring them up. Or if you do, it's like really like you're the asshole for bringing it up, right? What I mean to say with all this is just there is a way to change. And the way to change is actually really simple. It's develop the understanding, right? Develop the understanding of reality. That's what has to be developed. And then on top of that, you're also investigating yourself, investigating, why have I allowed this? Seeing your reasoning within all of it. Like, and it may not make sense, but to you it does, because it's your reasoning. That's the reason why you've not transcended the point thus far. So investigating that, and then forgiving yourself for that. Meaning, okay, all right, I know I was holding myself back in the past, but I'm no longer going to accept or allow that. And I forgive myself for doing that. Okay. But going forward, here's what I'm going to do, right? And then the last point is surrounding yourself with people who are also doing the same thing and who are going to challenge you on it. They're not going to let you just sit there and hold on to your point of weakness. They're going to call it out. Because when somebody puts a spotlight on your weakness, you're like, I'm exposed. Oh no, stop. Right? And Isabel, yeah. So you wouldn't want to help people change because it would make you feel like an asshole, really, right? Because you're not making them feel like an asshole when you say to them, hey, you're fat, you need to go to the gym, right? It's like they instead would look at you as the asshole, right? Or hey, you're not in a relationship. Why not? It's been years or whatever. And then it's like, you're the asshole for calling it out, right? But the ultimate point is, no, that person is supporting you to see where you're holding on to weakness within yourself, right? And I'm lucky enough to be surrounded by, well, I put myself in this position to be surrounded by a group of people who will not allow me to hold on to my weaknesses. They'll point it out every time, right? And they're also developing themselves, and they're also developing their understanding of reality. And so in that same way, I'm surrounding myself with these people. I'm developing along the same path. And if you have ever felt within yourself there's something that is impossible for you to do, then reach out, because this is the way to actually challenge that. This is the way to actually grow. This is the way, like, I can surround you with the right people. I can point you in the right direction so you can surround yourself with the right people to actually challenge that impossible and get the result. Because when we do that as a society, we all grow. We all get better. We all get stronger. We're actually bolstering each other up, right? So let's all challenge the impossible together. All right. See you guys.